First now, Eamon Javers has some news out of Washington, and he's actually on the phone, so it must be important. Hey, Eamon.
Yeah, good morning, Joe. I can report to you exclusively today that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng are going to speak by phone to discuss the ongoing trade negotiations between the United States and China. I don't have any other details here on the timing of this phone call today, the content of it or what the next steps will be. But the fact that they are going to have this phone conversation is notable because earlier in the week, the Treasury Secretary declined to say specifically at his press conference that he would be speaking to his Chinese counterpart. He said that the Chinese are in town for the IMF gatherings, that there are certain dialogues going back and forth, but he didn't say specifically that he and He Lifeng would be speaking. Now we can report to you that they will be speaking on the phone today. And the question is, whether that represents some kind of a breakthrough in this flare-up of tensions that we've seen over the past week, or at least maybe a platform where some kind of a breakthrough could happen, guys. So that's what we've got.
Eamon, it's the market was down. It actually turns around, and we were pointing out that that was purely based on I think some of the stuff that President Trump said on an interview this morning about China. I guess my question is, could we expect something really positive from this conversation between Bessent and the Vice Premier, Eamon? Because last weekend when the president said everything's going to be fine, Scott Bessent really chafed at that journal piece that said that they're just watching the stock market and that they base their comments on what's going on in the stock market. And again, you could say that once again, the president today said, no, it's not. Those big tariffs are not going to last. Should we believe that, or should we attribute it to watching what the market's doing? Is there real progress?
We don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen in this call. The fact of the call itself, I think, is notable, which is why I'm calling it into you guys. But we don't know what the content of that call is going to be. And obviously, Bessent did bristle at that piece. The U.S. side, of course, doesn't want it to look as if the Chinese side has more leverage in this negotiation than they do. And that's sort of what that Wall Street Journal piece was suggesting earlier this week. So it is very hard to say. And I think ultimately no large breakthrough can come until the two top leaders meet face to face. And what we're told is that meeting is still on later this month in Asia. So I don't think a Bessent-Lifeng call will be the final thing, but it's certainly something that would have to happen before the final thing, if you get that.
Yeah, they don't want to be. Also, don't want to be seen as they're basing these, major global trade, that the stock market is going to cause them to waver or change what they want to accomplish long term. They certainly don't want it to look like that, but the market does respond, Eamon. Anyway, thank you.
Yep, absolutely.